Welcome back for our second month of this series. We are so excited that you have taken the first step into becoming the best version of you and enjoying our last month of boundaries versus walls.
Yep.
So that is like the foundation for everything that we do.
Yep, it's true. And today we're going to be talking about how to actually choose to move from surviving to thriving. And we're going to start with ourself, right? So we're going to kind of go through the self, the inner circle, the work, the relationships. We're going to go through all that. But it's kind of what we started with, right?
Mm-hmm.
It starts with ourself. Like we have to actively choose. No one can choose it for us. How many times have you wanted something for a loved one? Doesn't matter if they don't want it. So we have to actively choose what we want for ourselves. And it's going to take an active choice of energy to move ourselves because our brain is constantly trying to get to a state of chill and a state of safety and normalcy. And so we have these wired automatic responses just from choice. That's all it is choice. Mm-hmm. And so we can craft new choices to make new automated thinking patterns and responses, but it starts with that choice. So I think that's a big deal. I love what you were sharing earlier.
Yeah, so, I think that it's really important too to understand the root of why we do things. Nobody does anything for no reason. Right. There's always a reason why we even enter into, a state of trying to survive. And that it could be because of trauma or, out of necessity. My mom worked 3 jobs when I was growing up, so I was the oldest, so there was a lot of responsibility on me, just because that's just how our household had to work. So it doesn't matter how or why you had to enter into that state, but knowing that is really helpful in order to move forward from it, because sometimes we get stuck in these cycles of behavior based on a season of our life and not the current state of our life.
Yeah, that's so powerful. Having that perspective allows you to if we can zoom out to like the 50,000 foot view, it's like, oh, okay. And one of the things that's helped me personally, just my own personal journey, has been knowing what I imagine thriving looking like for me. And seeing it like a picture or a movie in my mind. And then when my brain tries to kick into survival mode, it's like, no, I'm going over here. Because then what we see, imagine, fiercely focus on, then our brain is like, oh, I can build that. And that is where our body and our brain starts moving. So that's been a massive key for me. Rather not I want that, I wish I had. No. Picturing me, Jackie, there. This is what it's going to feel like. This is what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
And then knowing that will be crafted as I come into agreement with that.
Yeah, it's living an intentional life. Last year, I lost my best friend and other major aspects of my life in a matter of 4 days. And I had to shift from survival mode to living very intentionally. And one of the ways that I did that was I'm an overthinker, and that becomes static in my brain. All my thoughts just, kind of start spiraling. Everything comes together and just makes this big static. So the way that I shifted out of that was I visually separated those particles, those thoughts, into black and white. If it's a white thought, it's positive and it's going in the direction of peace and in the direction that I want to move. If it's a negative thought, it's black and it goes in the direction, it goes in this over here, and I'm not going to pick that up. I had to fiercely focus on being intentional and what do I want my life to look like down here, and then kind of working my way backwards and taking each step to get to that. If I knew where I wanted to go, I knew what the next right step was going to look like. And feel like. That was how I was able to shift myself out of, the overthinking and really just doing whatever I had to do in order, to take care of whatever needed to be done.
Yeah.
Because that's what surviving is you're doing what needs to be done, because if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. So.
Yes. Yeah, it's huge. And I think realizing sometimes when you're shifting from surviving to thriving, it's easy to feel like victim mentality of this is who I am, this is where I come from, this is, like this is all I've known. Yep, that's true. And all that can change,
Right.
That we're actually more powerful than we realize.
Yes.
And it starts here. Actually imagining is creating, it's like plugging into the electrical outlet of power of forward momentum, because we are actually picturing ourselves in the funk that we're surviving. Like we see ourselves there. If we shift it, we can start to create new patterns.
Yeah, because with every step you take towards where you want to be, it's like learning how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
You start pedaling slow, and then eventually you start pedaling so fast you can let go.
Mm-hmm.
That is so powerful.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. I loved that question that you asked your friend.
Yeah, so one thing is my inner circle is really important to me. We've all been through a lot and we've all overcome a lot. So I was asking one of my friends if they could give somebody one piece of advice going from, surviving to thriving, shifting from that, what would it be? And he said that he would ask them, why wouldn't you want to be happy? And happiness is not really something that you consciously think about when you're thinking about, making that shift. But really, that's what it is. Peace and happiness are in alignment with each other. So for me, I focused on what gave me peace. And I became happy because I achieved that peaceful state. So that really is so important. If you picture yourself happy, because I know what it's like to be in a state where I couldn't even smile. I have a tattoo because I had to have a reminder. If you are in a place where you can't even bring yourself to smile, much less think about yourself being happy, that's okay. That's when you just take that one step. Just one step, one breath, one step, and you just move forward every little bit. If the biggest part of your day was that you got out of bed or that you took a shower or whatever may be, that is amazing. Because, sometimes you're on the floor, and if we have to get down on the floor with you to help get you up, we will do that.
Yes.
And there is somebody in your life who will too. But that's really important to recognize where you are right in this moment. If you can recognize that and say, okay, what is one small step that I can do today that will lead to another step tomorrow? One step, one day, that's it. One step per day. It does not take much, but you have to keep that vision. Just think about what your best self, your best life, your happy, healthy self looks like, and only go in the direction of that. It doesn't matter who you leave behind.
Yes.
It doesn't matter, because you know what? Every day you're getting up with you. You are laying down with you.
Yep.
It's all on you.
Yeah.
You're responsible for your own happiness.
It's true. So here's your homework. Ready? Think of one thing about yourself where you realize, oh, I'm surviving. I'm doing this because this is what I've always done. Or maybe it's you instantly know you are on the floor on something. What would it look like in that one specific area for you to be thriving? Take the time and write it down.
Absolutely.
As you're writing it down, picture, what does that look like? How would I walk different, sound different, smile different? What is the picture that comes? And actually write down the picture. And then the magic happens when you find yourself in that rut. You have the response towards your automated survival to say no. And you read it. If you don't have your journal right in front of you, you remind yourself like a movie, and you watch it, and you're like, this is who I am, and this is the direction I'm going. And even if you can't get up off the floor in that minute, if you will keep watching that movie of yourself, it will create magic. It will create a shift that will over time move you in a completely different trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
So we would love to hear how your homework goes, and the success you have in that. Do you have anything else before we close?
I just wanted to say too, like, it's okay that it's hard. This is not easy. This is literally changing your entire life. This is not going to be easy, but it is going to be worth it.
Yes.
You're literally retraining your brain.
Growth hurts.
Absolutely.
It's hard and it's so uncomfortable. It's painful.
Yes.
But it's like the flower literally pushing up. It has to push up through all this dirt, hard rock,
Yep.
to be able to come out. And you're like, whoa, that was a lot of work. And then it blooms.
Yes.
And that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
I love a friend of mine years ago when I went through something really rough, and I don't keep cards. I've got a lot of friends who love homework. I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't keep cards. I'd rather have a gift card. So that's why I'm like, do I buy this person a card? Do I buy them a gift card? I always go with a gift card.
Everybody's different, yeah.
But this card, I still have it. And it says, every flower that ever bloomed went through a whole lot of shit to get there.
Yeah. It's a process.
Right? So just even shifting, looking at all of the crap in your life,
Yeah.
and seeing it as fertilizer rather than as evidence that you have to stay there.
Yeah.
So you can go right up through it
Mm-hmm.
and get an upgrade.
Pushing.
Yes.
That is the biggest thing. Keep pushing. It doesn't matter how small your achievement today is. Just keep pushing.
Mhm.
Tomorrow it'll be bigger, and if it isn't, it will be in the future. Just keep pushing.
Yes.
You are going through a process. It is a process. That means it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to change overnight. That's why we are here to give you these tools and this encouragement.
Yes.
Do not be discouraged. It's okay. Literally, progress is just a little bit of movement. Any amount of movement is progress. Just make sure you're going in the direction you want to go and not staying in the direction in that same circle, that cycle. Because if you're still moving, you could still be on that axis.
Yeah, because what you celebrate,
yes,
you duplicate.
Yeah.
So just if you will see that, if you can actually see the little progress,
Yes.
if you fiercely focus on that and celebrate and celebrate yourself, go pamper yourself, treat yourself.
Yeah.
You will do more. That's what happens. That's how we're wired. So
Yeah, you are either feeding your fear or you're feeding your future. That's what you're doing.
yep. And we believe in you, and we're
Yes.
excited about your future.
Yes.
We're excited about our future.
Yes.
Thank you for taking the time to be with us, and we will catch you next time.
Thank
Bye.
you.